Most people think the problem with dirty talk is that they aren't using the right words, or maybe they don't have that natural talent for being bold. But the real, often painful truth that I see in my office every single day isn't about vocabulary at all. It's about the emotional distance that happens before you even open your mouth. You might have tried to spice things up, only to feel that awkward, heavy silence hang in the air, leaving you feeling more vulnerable and rejected than you did before you started. It's like reaching out to hold someone's hand and feeling them pull away just an inch, isn't it? That split second of rejection, whether real or perceived, is usually what kills the desire to try again. Have you ever wondered why, in your head, the scenario plays out with such ease and confidence, but the moment you try to voice it, your throat feels tight and your mind goes completely blank? This isn't just about nerves or shyness, it's a specific psychological block. Many of you have likely felt that stinging doubt, the one that whispers, if I say what I'm really thinking, will they think I'm strange? Or will they judge me? It's a paralyzing fear that keeps so many couples stuck in a routine that feels safe, sure, but also increasingly uninspired and disconnected from the passion they once had. We settle for the status quo because the alternative feels too risky. What if I told you that the silence you're feeling is actually a symptom, not a flaw in your personality? I've worked with a couple, let's call them Sarah and David, who had been together for about 6 years. When they first came to me, they were almost embarrassed to talk about their sex life. Sarah told me that she felt like she was missing a gear that other women seemed to have. She thought she was supposed to just magically know how to be seductive. But the more we talked, the more I realized that David wasn't looking for a performance. He was looking for her. The pressure to be that kind of person was actually the very thing building the wall between them. But here's where things get interesting. Most of the advice you find online tells you to buy books of phrases or follow these rigid scripts. And I'm telling you now, that is the fastest way to kill the mood. Why? Because your partner knows your voice. They know when you're being you and when you're acting. When you try to adopt a persona that doesn't fit, it creates a subconscious dissonance. It's like watching a movie where the actor's lines don't match their mouth movements. It feels off. Later in this conversation, I'm going to reveal the mirror technique, which is the one habit that quietly destroys intimacy even in the most loving relationships, and how you can flip it to build a deeper connection than you've ever felt. But first, we need to address why your previous attempts might have missed the mark entirely. Is it possible that we've made this whole topic much more complicated than it needs to be because we are afraid of the judgment of a phantom audience? That invisible voice in our heads telling us we aren't doing it right? This is a fear trigger that I see constantly. We are so afraid of being cringe that we choose to remain silent, and in that silence, intimacy slowly withers. Think about the last time you felt truly, deeply heard, not just in a sexual context, but in any context. Remember the relief? The feeling of being completely understood? That is the exact same chemical response you want to trigger in your partner. When you verbalize your pleasure, you aren't just giving them feedback. You are giving them the gift of knowing they have power over your joy. One thing I see all the time as Dr. Emma is the performance trap. You think you're performing for your partner, but you're actually just creating a performance that makes both of you feel like spectators rather than participants. Imagine a client of mine, let's call him Marcus. Marcus was convinced that his wife, Elena, wanted him to be rougher and more aggressive in bed because he'd watched a couple of videos that suggested that was the secret to a long marriage. Every time he tried to force this persona, Elena would tense up. She didn't want a stranger, she wanted her husband. When he finally stopped trying to be the tough guy and just told her, I love the way you look at me when we're here alone, the entire dynamic shifted. The pressure evaporated. The myth that you have to be a, quote, naturally sexual person to be good at this is perhaps the most damaging one I encounter. People assume that because they were raised in a conservative household, or perhaps they were always the quote unquote serious one, that they are inherently incapable of being intimate in this way. But that's just not true. Intimacy is a language. You didn't come out of the womb speaking English or Spanish or Urdu. You learned it. You learned how to communicate your needs, your fears, and your joys. This is no different. It's a vocabulary of physical and emotional expression that you can learn at any age, in any relationship. Most people never realize what happens when you start with emotional narration. Instead of trying to jump into a scene from a movie, start by narrating your own experience in real time. I love the way your hand feels on my shoulder. I love the way you're looking at me. It sounds simple, but it's radical. You are grounding the moment in reality. You are telling your partner, I am here, I am present, and I am enjoying you. You're not trying to be anyone else. You're just being a human being witnessing another human being. Are you worried that this will make you look needy? That's another common fear. But in reality, nothing is more attractive than someone who is secure enough to express what they want. Think about it. When someone tells you that they appreciate you, that they are turned on by you, and that they are enjoying the moment with you, do you think less of them? No. You think more of them. You feel closer to them. It's an invitation, not a demand. Let's talk about a story that really stuck with me. A couple, let's call them Jenna and Robert, had a very busy, high-stress lifestyle. They were both executives and their lives were filled with schedules and emails. When they were in the bedroom, they treated it like another appointment. It was efficient, but it was hollow. Jenna told me she felt like an object, and Robert felt like he was failing a test. The turning point wasn't a dirty talk workshop. It was simply learning to slow down and use their words to acknowledge each other's existence. Just saying, I'm so happy to be here with you right now, away from everything else, changed the chemical environment of their intimacy. It turned a mechanical act into a ritual of connection. Many of you are probably asking, but what if I say something and they don't respond? What if they don't say anything back? That is the biggest fear, isn't it? The fear of the void. But here's the thing, your partner might be just as nervous as you are. They might be waiting for you to lead, or they might not know how to respond because they've never been invited to. When you start, you are the pioneer. You are breaking the ice. It might take a few times for them to feel safe enough to reciprocate. Be patient. One mistake I see all the time is thinking that dirty talk has to be about sexual acts. It doesn't. It's about desire. Desire is a broad spectrum. It's about attraction, longing, appreciation, and intensity. If you focus only on the mechanics, you miss the psychology. The psychology is, I want you. That is the message your partner needs to hear. That is the message that sparks the fire. I remember a young man who came to me feeling incredibly insecure because he felt like his wife was just, quote, going through the motions. He wanted to know how to get her to be more, quote, expressive. I told him, start by telling her what she does that makes you feel most connected to her. He started saying things like, I love how soft you are with me, and it makes me so happy when you laugh like that. He wasn't being, quote, dirty. He was being intimate. And you know what? His wife started to bloom. She felt safe. She felt seen. And she started expressing her own desires because he had built a foundation of trust. We'll come back to the mirror technique in a bit. But for now, I want you to consider why we treat our relationships like they're fixed entities. We think, oh, this is just how we are. But relationships are dynamic. They are living things. They require constant input. If you aren't putting in new energy, you're letting the fire die. It's that simple. Is it possible that you've been waiting for the right time to have this conversation, even though you know deep down that the right time is just a story you're telling yourself to avoid the discomfort of growth? I see this all the time. People wait for a vacation or for a birthday or for a magical moment. Don't wait. Start small. Start tonight. Start with one honest comment about how you feel when you are close to your partner. Many people don't expect this, but the most powerful thing you can say is often the simplest. You feel so good. That's it. It's honest, it's present, and it's a form of praise. And who doesn't want to be praised for how they make their partner feel? Think about the last time you felt really attracted to someone. What was it? Was it a line they said? Probably not. It was likely a look, a touch, or a sense of confidence. You can cultivate that confidence. You can build it. It's not a static trait. I've noticed something interesting about how we view intimacy. We view it as a destination. We want to reach the climax or the end. But intimacy is the whole experience. It's the build-up, the middle, and the after. If you treat it like a destination, you're missing the point. You're missing the journey. And the journey is where the connection happens. What happens if you just try it? What's the worst that can happen? An awkward laugh? What did you say? If that happens, you've just created a shared moment. You've just shared a laugh. And a shared laugh is a form of intimacy too. It's a way of saying, we're in this together and we're both human. There's this idea that there is a right way to be in a relationship, but there's only your way. There's the way that works for you and your partner. Don't compare your life to the movies. Don't compare your life to what you read in a forum. Your life is your own. Your intimacy is your own. As Dr. Emma, I've seen thousands of couples, and I can tell you that the ones who are the happiest are the ones who are the most authentic. They aren't trying to be cool. They aren't trying to be dirty in the way that people think. They are just being honest. They are just saying, I want you, and I love this about you, and this feels so good. Many couples tell me that once they started being honest, the pressure completely vanished. They stopped trying to achieve intimacy and started just being intimate. That's a huge distinction. One is an accomplishment, the other is a state of being. But here is where things get really interesting. The mirror technique I mentioned. It's about reflecting back the reality of the moment. When your partner touches you, instead of just feeling it, acknowledge it. I love how you're touching me right now. You are validating their action. You are saying, I see you and I like what you're doing. It's an immediate feedback loop. Have you ever noticed how when you tell someone they're doing a good job, they tend to do more of it? The same applies here. When you praise the way your partner is being intimate with you, they will naturally be more inclined to keep doing it. You are reinforcing the behaviors that make you happy. You are helping them become the partner you want. It's not about manipulating, it's about guiding. You are giving them a map. You are saying, this is the path that leads to my pleasure. And they are grateful for the map because nobody wants to wander around in the dark hoping they're doing it right. Some of you might be thinking, but what if I don't know what I like? That's okay too. You can say, I'm not sure what I like yet, but I love being here with you while we figure it out. That's a form of intimacy. That's a form of connection. It's a shared exploration. I had a client once, a woman who had been married for 20 years. She said, Dr. Emma, I feel like I know him, but I feel like I don't know him at all. We started working on this. We started working on her using her voice. She started telling him, I love it when you hold my hand, or I love the way you kiss my neck. Simple things. And after a few months, she came back and she looked 10 years younger. She was beaming. She said, we're talking again, like really talking. That's what this is about. It's about the talking. It's about the communication. It's about the bridge. Don't let the fear of doing it wrong stop you from doing it at all. The only way to get better is to do it. The only way to learn is to practice. And practice is just another way of saying being together. Think about your relationship. What is the one thing you want more of? Is it passion? Is it closeness? Is it trust? You can build all of those things through your words. You can build them right now. Many people think their partner has to make the first move. But what if you made the first move? What if you took the lead for once? What if you said, hey, I've been thinking about you today, or I love the way you look when you do that? What's the worst that could happen? They might be surprised. They might even be a little shocked, but they'll also be flattered. They'll be touched that you were thinking about them. They'll be glad that you are engaged in the relationship. The biggest surprise I see is how quickly things can change when one person decides to change their approach. You don't need two people to change the dynamic. You only need one. You can be the catalyst. You can be the spark. Most people never realize this, but the most attractive quality a partner can have is the ability to be vulnerable. It's the ability to say, this is who I am and this is what I feel. It's the ability to say, I want you. If you're feeling scared, that's good. That means you're on the verge of something real. That means you're stepping out of your comfort zone. That's where the growth happens. That's where the intimacy lives. As Dr. Emma, I'm telling you, you are ready for this. You have everything you need. You have the words, you have the feelings, and you have the desire. All you have to do is be brave enough to share it. What's one thing you're going to say tonight? What's one small observation you're going to share? It doesn't have to be big. It doesn't have to be dramatic. It just has to be true. The truth is the most powerful aphrodisiac there is. There is nothing more attractive than a partner who is honest about their desire. And remember, this is a practice. You don't have to get it right the first time. You don't have to be perfect. You just have to be present. You just have to be yourself. I want you to think about how different your life would be if you felt completely safe to be yourself in your relationship. If you didn't have to hide, if you didn't have to perform, if you could just be you. That's what's waiting for you on the other side of this. It's not about being dirty, it's about being real. And real is the most beautiful thing you can be. As we reach the end of our time, I want you to remember one thing. You are worthy of this. You are worthy of a relationship that feels vibrant, that feels connected, and that feels like you. You are worthy of being known. I'm so glad you shared this time with me today. It's been a privilege. And I hope you take these insights and I hope you use them to build the relationship you truly want. If you found this helpful, please consider subscribing. It really helps the channel grow and it allows me to keep sharing these conversations with you. And if you have a story or a question or a takeaway, leave it in the comments below. I love reading your thoughts and I love hearing how these ideas are helping you in your own lives. You're doing great work. Every step you take, every conversation you have, every moment of vulnerability you choose, it all adds up. It all makes a difference. You're building something beautiful. Keep going. I'm Dr. Emma, and I'll see you in the next one. Take care of yourself.